I've been playing The Witcher 3 for the past few days, which may explain why in today's video I sound a bit more like I'm on cocaine than usual, just because I've just been really hectic and trying to do a million things at once in between stabbing drowners with silver swords. But before we carry on with today's actual topic at hand, I do want to talk about the absolute failure that has been the early bird critic reviews. Now, some reviews have gone out early because those people had debug kits, and none of them have talked about the most important aspect of The Witcher 3. Did you know, right, that you can make Geralt wear fucking Venetian-style Mardi Gras masks? It's in cutscenes, it's in gameplay, running around with a gold mask with purple fucking lipstick on, or a wolf mask, or one of those big, long, beaky ones. It's fucking brilliant, and possibly the most important thing to happen in video games since fucking Pong. No hyperbole. I don't do hyperbole here, so think about that. Go to Novigrad and there's an elf there who will sell you fucking masks. Fucking awesome. It appears as if the wacky world of Kickstarter is experiencing a second big boom, with two major projects gaining huge success lately. First up, Playtonic Games introduced a spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie with Yooka-Laylee, a game that achieved its funding goal in something like 40 minutes and has only continued to rake in an obscene amount of beautiful cash. That was followed by Koji Igarashi him-fucking-self's son proving that Kickstarter's doing what Konami isn't, and bringing us the follow-up to Symphony of the Night that Castlevania's publisher doesn't want because it's too busy chasing the mobile game dream years after everybody else already did it. Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night hit its goal in hours and, like Yooka-Laylee, is stacking the cheddar like there's no tomorrow. More than a Kickstarter resurgence, however, there are wide implications of what we're seeing with these projects and many similar ones. What we're seeing is the rise of what I've dubbed the re-animators, the creative developers who, once shackled by the regulations and risk aversion of major publishers, are breaking out from their chains to provide the kind of games AAA corporations tell us we don't want anymore. In a world where Alien Isolation can sell 2.11 million copies and still be called weak by Sega, this split from the prehistoric AAA mindset cannot be more important. As big budget game publishers hobble their own potential by playing to a very restricted market of focus-tested teenage boys, they've left huge gaps in the market that independent developers are happily filling. Because alleged AAA publishers hate the idea of making some money as opposed to making all of the money, they've abandoned consistent mid-range reliable products with dependable audiences in favour of a reckless go big or go home strategy, expecting every game they publish to be a $10 million Call of Duty rival and consigning anything that fails to meet those expectations to the failure bin. It's ironic, really, that major publishers are so famously risk averse, but what they're doing, betting huge on the next big thing with ridiculous budgets, is such a massive short-sighted gamble. Even with some publishers actually still doing it and still proving new IP and unique ideas can work, hello Dishonored and everything Devolver Digital's published in the last few years, the allegedly AAA scene is still a stagnant mire of fear and death. Meanwhile, this massive failure of those publishers, and I do consider it a fucking failure, has been capitalized on by developers who are out of the machine. So many talented and passionate developers have checked themselves out of the system and made the kind of games that we are supposed to hate. Obsidian brought us Pillars of Eternity, while Brian Fargo delivered Wasteland 2. These are two proper old-school RPGs, and not only got funded in short order, but went on to be critical and commercially successful too. Playtonic is bringing us mascot platformers, Eager is bringing us Metroidvania. For some people, the recent developments of the past year have been a time for mourning, a time for sorrow. Silent Hills has been cancelled, Metal Gear Solid 5 will likely be the last real Metal Gear game we ever get. Castlevania is rubbish now. Square Enix wants to turn everything into an iOS free-to-play cash cow. Rare is a shadow of its former self, Sega is disappointed by Alien Isolation, and EA continues to cannibalize and destroy beloved game series. And don't get me wrong, this is all depressing in its own way. Silent Hill 2 is my favourite game of all time. Metal Gear Solid is a huge reason why I respect games as much as I do. A world of publishers that care not for this art, that is so ready to burn it all down in a desperate bid to make money elsewhere, is most definitely sad. But in many other ways, we're in a new fucking golden age. Yeah, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night does not carry the Castlevania name, but it's more of a Castlevania game than anything Konami will shit out in the next few years. For all intents and purposes, it is a Castlevania game by the same fucking guy. And no, Yooka-Laylee is not a Banjo-Kazooie, but it is Banjo-Kazooie, you know, it's made by the real fucking Rare, not the Kinect Sports rivals Rare. The names are changed, but what really matters, the gameplay, the design, and above all, the fucking heart and soul are preserved in all their totality. And what's more, there's no EA or Konami or Ubisoft to hover over these projects and ruin them with yearly sequels, microtransactions, or homogenous game design that dilutes the very thing that made these various genres so popular in the first fucking place. Hello there, Dead Space 3. Hell, we're even seeing it in the media that covers its games. Kinda Funny Games has been doing beautifully since Colin and Greg parted ways with IGN, and I think the continued success of the Jimquisition speaks for itself. Everywhere, talented and passionate people are leaving corporations behind, and the audiences hungry for that talent and passion are allowing it. All we need now is for Team Silent to get back together and Hideo Kojima to hit Kickstarter so we get spiritual successors to Silent Hill and Metal Gear without needing the big publisher middleman fucking everything the fuck up. No, they won't be called Silent Hill or Metal Gear if they were to happen, but ultimately they would be Silent Hill and Metal Gear, more authentic, more real, more honest than anything these failures of publishers could hope to accomplish. And when Visceral is eventually shit-canned by EA, you damn right I'll be among the first to back Unliving Vacuum. Now this is not to pretend Kickstarter, Indiegogo, Patreon, etc. is without risk. Crowdfunding in general is still a new and fluctuating business in games. We've had scams, we've had controversies with bad budgeting, and there's a popularity contest aspect to the whole thing that currently best benefits those who can trade on nostalgia. But over the years, I've sensed crowdfunding heading towards a normalcy and stability that makes it more and more viable. There are games like the Miskatonic reaching their funding goals, games like Strafe gaining media coverage by being fucking weird and out there and bold. As publishers tell passionate developers and unique video games that they're not needed anymore, the message back from passionate developers and unique video games is being heard loud and clear. They don't need them either. This apparent schism between creative talent and companies who see games only as products and content shells is scary and sad in a fair few ways. It's also exciting as hell and something that may possibly just work out best for everyone. AAA publishers can fuck off and produce endless kinds of Battlefield or Hump Mobile Gaming's in-app purchases like a dog on Viagra, and actual game designers can design actual fucking games. There is idealism in that situation. I'm fully aware that many indie devs are shit and several major publishers are still good, but the overall message that I want to say is this: the more sincere and talented developers who can break out of AAA publishing and find success doing their own thing, the fucking better. Better for them and better for us. Oh, and fuck Konami. Disclosure is important, so I should point out that I have backed some of these projects. I did back the Miskatonic because it looked interesting, and I did of course back both Playtonic's Yooka-Laylee Kickstarter and the Bloodstained Kickstarter, though I do want to point out in those latter two, I backed them more out of spite than anything else. I do believe in the project, I do believe they'll you know, make good games, yada yada yada, but these are also games that are sticking it to Microsoft and Konami, and I'm happily going to spend some cash for that, because as we all know, fuck Konami. So I did back those games. It is important that I did that to be malicious and prove a shitty little point that neither Konami nor Microsoft will give a shit about or ever hear, but that's important. But enough talk! Thank God for me! You shouldn't say that while I'm trying to swallow at the same time. It was less badass and more pubescent.
Life's good when you're a ninja block. Life's good when you're a ninja block. Life's good